is a non-profit startup that's based in Senegal, and we are working to compile better data on African civil society organizations to make it easier for those that are looking to fund African initiatives to find and fund African civil society organizations. Actually, it's not, and that's part of the problematic that we're trying to solve for institutions as well as individuals like myself or yourself that are looking to support an African civil society organization. It's not always easy to find them, to know who is on the ground, what they're doing, where they're doing it, and with what impact. So it means that those that want to give sometimes are not able to give it because they can't find who to give. Secondly, even if you do find these organizations, oftentimes there's an issue of credibility because you don't know how well run these organizations are or how effective they are. So that, we believe, makes us as African individuals as well as institutions not to give where we should be giving. So what we're doing specifically is to build an index, if you will, of African civil society organizations. So we're compiling data on what groups exist, where they are, what they do, and measuring their capacity. So to help that along, we have recently launched an African Civil Society Organization Excellence Award to highlight, one, the work that these groups are doing, and it's excellent work despite all the challenges, but two, to encourage civil society organizations to share their data about their work and the impact they're having, but also to give them an opportunity to assess themselves in terms of their effectiveness. So the African Civil Society Organizations Award is now open for applications, and we are hoping that as many Mauritian civil society organizations will apply and become part of this movement to bring greater visibility to civil society organizations. Unfortunately not. I've only been here for 2 days. My work did not allow me to come a little earlier, which I would have loved to, but I have met the head of the Mauritian National Civil Society Forum. We've agreed to start exchanging some information because we are really reaching out to networks of civil society organizations across the 54 African countries. Like I said, Africa is not homogeneous. Africa is a continent, and so there are peculiarities. While we have common challenges, for example, governance, we also have peculiarities. Each country has its own specificities. So I don't think that we can say that from what we're doing in Senegal, what we're doing in Kenya, that's applicable to Mauritius. However, we do think that there can be learning across countries, and in fact we hope that the platform that we're building, the data that we're collecting, is going to help countries connect, organizations in different countries connect with like-minded organizations in another country, and to see what lessons they can take from there to apply to their own countries. Big one right now is elections, which are coming early next year. So the whole country is focused on ensuring that these are free and fair elections. And then there are, of course, ongoing issues, particularly the issue of inclusivity, inequality that we're seeing growing everywhere. Senegal is not spared. So on the one hand, we hear that Senegal is among the fastest growing economies of the continent, but when you talk to ordinary Senegalese, they say they don't feel it. And yet we see buildings going up, we're seeing roads going up, so we don't know what the story there is. But it's clear, you can see a rising inequality in the society. Not necessarily. It's not clear who the beneficiary is, because on the other hand, the unemployment rate is very high. Increasingly, if you drive down on a street in Dakar, like in many African cities, except I think where I am right now. You see all these young people who are selling, trinkets to cars that are stuck in traffic jams. So what we're trying to do, what Epic Africa is doing, is being a connector by making information available of what civil society organization exists, how they're doing, who's credible and who's not, and on the other hand, connecting them to resources. So the platform that we're building will have information on funding opportunities. We'll have information on resources like events like this, meetings, places where they can go and connect with each other. So there are 8 areas that we're looking at. We're looking at governance, and that includes your board, who's on your board, how long have they been there, what kind of age range are they. We're asking questions around financial health, so your financial management, who funds you, how do you spend your fund, and we're asking civil society organizations to share. For example, we ask, do you conduct audits? And if you do, could you share an example of an external audit that you have done? So really delving in to see what is happening, and by demonstrating this information, or by showing this information, by sharing this information, civil society organizations are saying, look at me, I am a credible organization. Those that are not credible obviously will also come up.